Morning, just having a walk about and just having a look at this maize. It's bloody impressive to see how dry it's been. It's growing well. It must have got its taproot down and found some moisture. But you can I'm just sort of showing you this area. This was a real wet hole. Well, Jake got stuck putting the blood slurry on, and it just proves that we didn't put no other nutrients on. There's no granular fertilizer gone on, and not even DAP don't spout. And well, look at the crop. Look how it's growing like mad. And I don't think it's suffering with drought, but you can just tell that's what you'd get if you didn't put no muck or blood on. So yeah, it looks a fairish crop. I mean, this was drilled very early, and the bit next door I'll show you, it was drilled far too late. We didn't make the decision to put it in till too late, a fortnight, 3 weeks too late, but it might catch up. But look at our blackgrass issue. This we need to it's the worst bit on farm, and we've grown maize for 3 years on trot, and in the bottom we just get blackgrass, and we're gonna have to grass it and mow it for probably, I would say, 7 or 8 years to get on top of it. So this little patch, there's only 5 acre, we're gonna put in with probably a 5-year lathe, and try and mow this seeds out, so get rid of the seed bank. But it grows fantastic maize, and it ain't maize land really, it's quite heavy, but we put that much nutrients in that it seems to get hold of it. But my worry is if you get a real wet back end, paddling the hell out of it to get the crop off. But we've been had a bit of a project going on. No, that ain't ideal, is it? Lost the track off. But we've dug where we are. We're only a stone throw from farm and house, and we've put this well in. We're pumping it into the garden actually to water our garden. Dug a big hole, and there's about 3 foot of water there. And yeah, we're watering our lawn at the moment, but the plan is we're going to pump that water into the farm. There's a little borehole pumping bottom of there. We're going to pump it down there, probably a 50 mil main, into the farm to use for all pigs and stuff, drinking water. We did another one in that little pump house, but they just want enough water, so we put these big 1.2 metre tubes in, and there should be ample water, especially in winter. And we'll get the water tested, and maybe even if there's any problems with it, we'll put it through a UV filter. And you're allowed to do this. You're allowed 10 cube a day through a water table source. You're allowed 10 cube a day. So I mean, we will never use 10 cube. So yeah, our digger looks in a sorry state, doesn't she? But this is some late drill stuff what we put in, not far too late. And it is growing. I watered it before we got stopped with our irrigation though. I give it a good dose of water, and I think it's done it the world of good. Oh, don't look at the weed control. I've only just sprayed it actually. Sprayed it with quite a concoction as well, so hopefully all this broadleaf weeds will disappear in next sort of day or two. Actually, it's very impressive. It's surprising how that'll catch that up. It's getting it ready at the same time though, that's why I worry, but Chris says, oh, we'll just mix it in. Which might be in our favour because it'd be very green and weighty. But yeah, very good actually, apart from weed control. And actually it's been sprayed about 4 days and the rubbish is starting to curl. So I reckon another week it'll be brown and left behind like. Morning, it's the 18th of July. Just going to have a ride around to see some rape crops because well, they aren't really ready for combining, but the weather is going to break on Wednesday, and it's going to end thunderstorms as well. So I'm just going to have a look. So hopefully today and tomorrow will bake them up, and we'll be able to get a big chunk of them through night. Because a lot of lads have been combining through night to get a bit of moisture in it. Oh, lads and lasses. This wheat here, I've just had a bite of that, and I'll tell you what, she's a hot week. We might be having a nibble at a few wheats on light land at weekend. I think the grain has wizened up a bit. I think the drought has took its toll a little bit, so. But everybody's in the same boat. I think most of the country's dry. I think the west has had quite a bit of rain, but down this east coast is definitely dry. This is one of my fields of rape. Just have a look at that. Balers on blow off pad. We've got a little hydrovane compressor there and we blow stuff off. Little 3-cylinder Deutsch diesel in it. And it's just handy, and we keep it in here. We used to do it in the yard and make a right mess, but we keep it in here, and then what we do, we keep power in, pad a bit, so we get all black grass and weed seeds to germinate, and then it keeps them contained. But this is days off. I can just tell by, you can see the greenery, all this greenery. The Roundup hasn't took effect yet, which is good actually, because it's not vulnerable. See, they are a little bit brittle, but in the bottom there will be a lot of green. You know, you have to be patient because you can't thresh them. You know, so you might as well just write all that tramline off. Actually, this is further on than I thought. But the such as them, you know, the chemical ain't got to him yet. But another couple of days, you can hear it dropping out. It's very vulnerable to stormy weather. So yeah, that's end of week that. So if we do get some storms on Wednesday, it could damage it, but we'll see. We'll watch this space with weather. Spring barley's looking really good. It hasn't suffered with the drought at all, I don't think. It's lovely, plump, bold grain, complete crops, and we nearly knocked that up. Actually, I don't know where it's come from. It was thin, the slugs had their fill because we direct drilled that over muck. We mucked it and direct drilled it. And we thought it was a disaster with slug damage, but it's actually filled in to be a nice crop. This is what we put the cover crops on. Where it's had a blanket, a cover crop to protect the ground, it's done better than where it was bare, you know, like an armour on the soil to keep moisture in. But there was a big slug issue. I mean, I think some of the cover crops we used, maybe the wrong stuff, but to be fair, I gave it a light covering of slug pellets twice. It was very, very dry to get it established quick, so it had that against it, and it's done all right. So, and it ain't cost a lot to grow. So the plan is, what we're going to do, we are going to cultivate it though. We're going to run the Simba, the solo over it at back end, and then run the moors or the Vardestad really fast, not make half a seed bed and put a little bit of seed in. I'm off to just use oats. I'm off to use a mixture of oats, rye, a little bit of oilseed rape and a few peas, and see what peas do, whether they get established and store a bit of stuff up before back end. You know, if it's a late growing season, a mild back end, they might, you know, just store a bit of stuff up for next cash crop. So that's the plan with this, but fairly clean and all. I mean, there's a massive blackgrass issue in this field, and the denseness of the barley has kept the, it's there, it's in the bottom, but not much of it, and it's kept it sort of at bay. It hasn't showed itself yet, apart from a few patches over there. Yeah, very pleased with this actually. But I mean, I think if we'd done it differently and sort of worked it at spring, it's been that dry since we drilled it. Well, I mean, we've had oddments of rain, but not really. If we'd drilled it, if we'd worked it at spring and let all that air into it and all moisture, and it didn't have that cover of cover crop, I think there'd have been a massive drought issue in 1, 2, 4 fields down this lane. You know, it dries out very, very quick. It can either be too dry in winter, or too wet in winter, or too dry in summer. But that I'm very, very pleased. I mean, look, spring barley, it's not like winter barley where you aim for 3.5 tons. If we can get 2.5 of spring barley, we're happy. But the costs we haven't put the inputs in to get it there. So no, yeah, quite pleased with that. Yeah, a bit of a concern with this oilseed rape, but let's go a bit further down the lane and have a look at another couple of fields. This one ain't so pretty. Thought it was better than it was actually. I was a little bit disappointed, but this spring barley, yeah. But look, it's bone dry. Look at cracks in land. But a lot of blackgrass has come through on here. It's shallow soil though. There's about, I don't know, 7 or 8 inch of nice fertile soil over nearly neat gravel, and it suffers with drought terrible. In fact, look, if you can you see the lighter patch what goes through the field? That's very, very shallow, and it's droughted off terrible. But it didn't look a bad sample at the minute, but no, it's very thin and very messy. But something we rape this, we're going to hopefully put a lot of muck on and drill it with rape and see if we can clean it up with curb. You know, we're a bit worried about this blackgrass getting resistant to chemicals we still can control it with, so we need to take fairly evasive action soon. Whew, hot, don't cover it. This registry says 38 on my phone, but in van it says 43, but I don't think it's nowhere near there. But they were on about the peak of the temperature getting to 41 today, so. But lads have gone home. It's just, well, we aren't that busy, and it's like chewing jobs what we're doing, so I've told them they can bugger off, and Phil's coming in at 6 o'clock tomorrow to start muck spreading. And we've yoked this on as well. Just our neighbour was combining over there, and just thought if he happens something, it would just come, and the wind was straight to us. I thought we'd just get engulfed in flames, how dry stuff is. So yeah, we'll just put them on and then we can diss some fire breaks. Like, it's just an unrelentless dry and warm wind. Pigs are really suffering. So anyway, hot. I ain't really a moaner when it comes to hot weather neither. It doesn't really bother me, but today's fierce. Like 38 degrees is like a hot day abroad, isn't it? Pretty never-ending task though, how warm it is. So anyway, well done for getting this far, because I think this one's been a bit endless, so I'll try and make next video a bit more entertaining for you. Right, bye for now.